Chanel,
Yes.
I was looking at a lot of Kobe Bryant's videos, and in one of them, he talked about how he went to go play basketball when he was younger, and he didn't make not one shot, like one shot. He was in a basketball game. He didn't make a free throw, a layup, nothing. And from that point, he felt like he had to go back and work harder. But he said the work hard, he knew would have to be a journey. Work hard 1 week, work hard work hard for 1 day, then work hard for a week, then work hard for, it's a journey. And most people don't realize that you become better as you go. And you talked about that journey in your spoken word piece, and that's what made me think about Kobe Bryant, because I was like, Kobe Bryant just said that. He was like, it's the journey, the patience to be able to formulate what the gift that's in you that God has given you. And make it come out so natural and effortlessly. And you certainly did that with that spoken word piece, girl. You killed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What do you think it is that you've had to do on a daily basis to live your dream? On a weekly basis, on a yearly basis to live your dream?
I have to constantly remind myself that I'm dope.
Oh.
A lot of times things happen and we go through so much and it's discouraging. And sometimes you start to question, like, are you doing the wrong thing? You know, am I in the right space? Because, you know, I don't have the clout that somebody else that, you know, they have that really helps them, you know, or I'm doing all of this work and I manage myself, right. You know, all these things. And sometimes you start to think like maybe you start to doubt the gift that you have. And I spend so much time, it sounds almost vain. And I have another poem called Vanity, and I talk about the idea that sometimes you have to be able to function and to exist and live your purpose, you have to like really remind yourself that you're awesome, you're fly, and everything is going to tear you down and try to, and people are going to. I think that I spend a lot of time just reminding myself like I should be free with my art, because like this was a gift that was given to me, and there's a reason. God doesn't give us a gift for no reason.
Yeah, and you got that right. But what if you're not dope? Not you. I'm just talking about somebody else.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, not you. You dope. You dope at what you do, girl.
Thank you.
But what if you telling yourself you dope and you're not really dope at something that you're doing?
Well, no, see, I still tell myself I'm dope, but I definitely get constructive criticism. Like, you know, I like to not be the smartest person in the room or the most amazing person in the room. I like to be around, and by beholding, I get better. And I think that that's the other side, the humility of, yes, I'm amazing, but there's always space to grow. There's always more to do. And
right.
I think I'm humbled by like other artists that I've met in passing that I look up to that say they have the same issue, where they're like, sometimes I question if I'm really like good. But there's the iron that sharpens iron.
Ooh,
and we
yeah.
encourage each other.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something, that community, if you're trying to do something, you need to find a community and find, like, even if it's just, you know, a mentor or somebody you check in with every now and then, like, hey, I'm working on this, what you think?
Yeah. You spoke about a moment in your spoken word piece that I think if you're a woman, and particularly in entertainment, but probably in any industry, that there's a moment you spoke about in your poetry that I think every woman has felt at one time or another. And that's when you talk about how I had the record deal, but then they dropped me for the pretty girl.
Oh.
Who got pregnant, and then she had all these babies, then they had to drop her anyway. But forget about what happened to her. But I think every woman feels like, damn, man, she got the job because she was prettier than me. Or she, you know, there's a point where you feel like not dope because something has happened externally that didn't allow you to make it to the next level.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
success.
when I first started out, and that's even how I got into poetry, I started out in music. I started out trying to do that and doing like reference tracks and hooks for like Redman, just, you know, all these other different random artists.
Redman, Eric Sermon.
Those
are pretty big artists.
Yeah, just, you know, just being around a lot of different people that were in the industry or have been in the industry. But, you know, it was one of those things where you see, where, you know, I've met A&R. I literally, like, that line was like a factual thing. I used to host an open mic out in Brooklyn, and I remember this girl came to me in the bathroom after I performed and was like, "You're great, no matter what that guy said." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? What guy?" And she's like, oh, there's an A&R there from so-and-so label. I won't say the name. But
You can say it. He probably don't work there anymore.
They just rotate. But he's, I don't know
they don't have record labels too much anymore.
You're right, you know. But he, you know, she was like, yeah, he was just like, she's great, but she's just not, she doesn't have the look. She's not pretty enough. And it was just like, you know, and she said, you know, but you look like me, like you look like somebody that's from around my neighborhood.
Right.
And I think that sometimes we've gotten, you know, when it comes to the industry, and that's why a lot of people are making their own way now.
Yeah.
You know, you look at like a Lizzo, who traditionally they'd have been, you know, you just gonna write for somebody. And they told that to friends of mine that were really talented. But they're like, oh girl, you dark skinned, you know, it's not really in. Like that, like someone said that to her, you know?
Wow.
And so we see this commercialism and this idea of packaging this product that looks like whatever the ideal of our society is, and it tends to be, you know, other. You know, whatever an other is, whether it's mixed with this and that, and then the people that are like Ari Lennox, that are just like themselves and that look like your homegirl down the block. India Irie, you know. Like, and that was, you know, and those are the artists that like have this authentic voice, this thing to bring.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy to get caught up in like, oh well, you know, because I don't have this image, or I'm not. You know, I'm not one for the weaves. My hair doesn't like a weave. It doesn't like do that. It just doesn't. You know, those are all things that become thing. But I firmly believe that if you do what everybody else expects you to do, then you're gonna be. At some point in time, you're gonna be limited. Yeah. Like you have to be true to yourself.
And you have give it up. All right now, they like it. You have been really true to yourself, because even in your illness of having lupus, you decided that, I guess once you got better, that you would move from New York to LA. Tell me the order of that. What's the timeline of you finding out you have lupus and then moving to LA?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry, I didn't move here. I just kind of visit a lot. But okay. I'm still based in New York. But I mean, but in the same breath, like for me, that gave me a fearlessness, because prior to being diagnosed with lupus, I got diagnosed a long time ago, back in 2004. And I didn't know anyone else that had it. I didn't know what it was. But it made me look at my mortality in a different way, and not in a sense of like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, like I didn't think of my life being cut short. I just thought about it as like, you know, I was in a hospital for the first time in my entire life. And I said, you know, if I was stuck here, what have I not done?
You have that raspy voice of Tina Turner, Anita Baker, Toni Braxton. Yeah. I mean, both Brendan and I were like, Anita Baker, as soon as we heard you.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I sing a little Anita too. I love her, yes.
Yeah. I mean, it is not common for women to have that deeper register, but the ones that do, you stand right in line with them, girl.
Thank you.
Right in line with them.
I appreciate it.
Now, you told us at the beginning of that second song that it was very, very sensitive and personal to you.
Yes.
Because what?
Well, at the time when I wrote it with my friend, I was going through a heartbreak, and I was also helping my mom through a divorce with my father. Mm-hmm. So I was writing it on behalf of what I was feeling in my heart, as well as what she was experiencing, and other family members that I know that were going through divorce, how they were experiencing that.
Wow.
So it was very heavy.
Yeah, that is really heavy.
Yeah.
Did you have to deal with your parents divorcing at a younger age or an older age?
Older, so you see everything, you know?
Yeah. So. And you're aware of everything. Like, how does that affect?
It affects dating a lot. You know, you're hesitant to dive into longer relationships and commitment, but I'm working through that.
You're working on through it?
I'm working on through it.
So are you in a relationship right now?
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
Was she available? Fellas, she available.
Hey.
But it's not still because of that relationship.
No,
when did you do that song? What year?
That was written in 2015.
2015. Okay, so we over him, though,
yeah,
right?
We're over that.
Okay, we just.
So I'm just in LA now. You know, LA dating scene is a little different.
Girl, I went out on a date in LA, and he didn't even pay for my brownie.
Ooh.
I was like, what kind of LA? And I'm from the South, so men do everything. Like, they treat women like a queen. The only time you get treated like a queen in LA, if you are the queen.
Right.
Like, literally, the queen bee.
Well, I've only been in LA for like a year and a half. I haven't had a date since.
No?
No.
What's been good about it, though?
There's so many opportunities to do music, I believe.
Because you came here from New Jersey.
I'm originally from New Jersey, yes. I lived in New York for a little bit before moving here.
And it's my understanding that you almost lost your voice.
Yes.
That voice that we just heard, or was it a different voice at that time?
Oh.
Like, was it you losing your voice that gave you that raspiness? Like, did it come back? Was it like Superman? It came back stronger.
I feel like I did come back stronger. I do have more of a rasp now than I did pre-surgery. So I had this surgery in 2018.
What happened?
So, long story short, in fall of 2017, my 10-year-old cousin passed away suddenly. And while we were waiting on the autopsy report, I decided, let me get a physical. Went to get a physical and they found lumps in my neck. And I had to do biopsies and all of that. They couldn't tell me if it was cancer or not. So because of the size, we decided to remove it. And I asked them if this is why I was losing my voice frequently. They said,
so you had already been experiencing losing your voice?
Yes, I was teaching. So I thought it was because I was working in middle school and I was yelling all the time. Yeah, but it was a separate situation. So the surgeon said, no, your nodules are not on your vocal nerve, so I'm going to send you to a voice doctor. They sent me to a voice doctor, and they told me that I have a cyst on my vocal cords. 2 separate issues. That would require 2 separate surgeries.
Oh.
I decided to only do 1 surgery, so I removed the masses in my neck. That's why I have this scar here. And I did voice therapy for 6 months. And when I was cleared to sing again, I moved to LA.
Wow. I have to ask you, what would give you the strength knowing that you just lost your voice? You'd only been able to sing, like 6 months is a short time to recover from a surgery so deep. You just lost your voice, you just gained it back, and now you have this scar. What gave you the strength and courage and confidence to move to Los Angeles to pursue music?
Well, truthfully, life is short. It really made me realize that life is really short, and I might as well just go right now. If I don't do it now, it's never going to get done. So I just decided to, pick up my things and go, because what am I waiting for? What I value the most was almost gone. So I might as well do what I love.
But people, you, my brother, are from Inglewood, California,
Absolutely.
and you say you identify with Africa.
Absolutely.
And what is that? Because even being from Inglewood, you didn't get into the gangster rap, or you didn't get into the LA vibe of the LL Cool J
Gotcha.
going back to Cali, or the death row stuff. You decided to take it all the way back to the motherland. Why?
Well, it was connectivity, for one. My mom and dad are Nigerian. They came out here, and my dad came in '79, my mom came in 1980. They got married in '83. They had us, and they didn't have their citizenships when they were out here, so literally they were anchor babies. And the term anchor baby is more of, people that come and have kids from other territories in this plane. So, they had us, and my parents worked so hard at their jobs that they were awarded their citizenships, and that's how we came to be. So from that stemmed to me understanding, that my parents came out here to work and strive for us to be and become somebodies, myself and my brothers. So, and this is where we are. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Afrobeat or the sound, in a sense, chose me, because I was able to connect with my people.
Yeah.
And, to be able to have both sides, being American and being Nigerian. And,
Well, usually, if you're Nigerian, it seems as if the thread of a career is not typically music.
Right.
It's some doctor.
lawyer. For me, it was the first
How did
time,
your parents feel about that?
The first time that I ever connected to music was as a kid. My mom worked in, like secretarial work at the time, and she had a computer and a microphone, and there was like this instant connection that I had to, like, that butterfly feeling you get
I know
when you just know in your heart that this is something you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, you
That
get
was
anxious about it, and
so growing up years later, I graduated from engineering school as a sound engineer. so that I can perfect, you know, just be able to perfect my sound and engineer my sound and do what I do. So a lot of my music now, I record, mix, and master myself as a proof to my parents that this is something that I'm meant to be doing.
But you've proven to a lot of other people too, because you are Grammy nominated.
Thank God.
How did that happen?
So my brother Jonathan Chia from Chia Media Productions reached out to me in 2017. And there was a project on the table with Rufus Du Sol. Rufus Du Sol is an Australian group, EDM sound, electronic music for you guys. And
I love how you're educating me on like world music.
So
like it's fascinating to me.
He reached out to me to come and do a choir position in the song, and I was one of the choir voices on the song, and the song was nominated on their album in the Grammy. So,
wow. That's amazing. Your parents have to be proud of you.
Oh, you know, it's gradual.